Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today's project is got this 32-inch Summerset grill. This thing was purchased by a different owner of this house back around 2013. We moved in 3.5 years ago, and man, oh man, it has just dismantled itself since. So now a lot of this damage here was done by me pushing on stuff and collapsing, but obviously this thing is in complete neglect, and it is time to get it all right. So a few of the things that we're going to have to purchase. One of the burners, it's got these U-shaped burners, monster symbol shaped burners, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, you can see you got holes in this one. The one to the left of it also has holes. This one over here is actually decent, so I'm using that one to get the dimensions off of so I can order the right parts. Some of the other things, these briquette trays, they sell these things, the manufacturer sells these for about $116 each, $116 each. So you know we're 350 bucks deep just in briquette, stainless steel briquette trays. And I'm telling you what, man, this stuff, I'm gonna measure this when I get my replacements, because this is super thin stainless steel as it is. So I'm not too concerned about buying something cheap to try it out. My grates are in great shape, so I'm gonna clean these things off really well, get everything shined up. Anyway, this is the project of the day. Let's get this sucker back in serviceable condition. So the length of these things is 16 5/8 inch long for this briquette tray for the bottom section from here to here, and it's 8.5 inches left to rightsies. It's a 4-brick configuration going across these typically, and the ones you're going to find on Amazon, there's a lot of them that are in sets of 3. So I did find one that's ridiculously cheap, has really good reviews, and if you don't trust the briquettes, I mean, you could always reuse your old flavoring briquettes, because I'm sure it came straight from China. As far as these tubes go, from this end down here all the way in where it inserts, 16.5 inches long, and I'll catch you a measurement on the width. I think it's 8.5 or something wide on each of those. I apologize, it's 5 3/4 inch wide on these burners here, so 5 3/4 each. And that becomes important because you do have these little braces right here that they have to slide under. These are pretty rotted out. I'm not going to replace those. I don't even know what they're for, if that helps to kind of stabilize these trays. I really don't know what those are for, but we're about to find out. I suspect that maybe there was something on the bottom of these trays that allowed, that maybe they reached down to touch that as extra support. I don't know. But the lead edge is going to sit on this little run here. The back edge sits on a substantial shelf, so I'm going to end up being a little bit less than 16 3/4 inch. 16 5/8 inch on the ones that I purchased. I did find some on Amazon, so that'll still work and play very well with that length of that shelf back there. A couple things I won't replace. I'm not sure what this tube is. Maybe this is just an air tube of some sort. It's steel, stainless. I'm sure it's got a hole right there. Can't remember if my light bulb works, but I'll just clean that all off. All this stuff will be nice and shiny when it's done, theoretically. Again, this is the Summerset Professional Series 32-inch. Something else that hasn't worked in a while. This thing right here, but I'm not going to replace it. That's cosmetic. I use a temperature probe when I cook anyway. I'm not too worried about that. Also, another important measurement from the inside wall here to the other inside wall over here is 29 inches exactly. So we don't want to exceed that with our aftermarket briquette trays. You're just going to have to trust me, that's exactly 1/2 inch across there. Inside that hole is nothing other than a big empty area, so you get something that has a 1/2 inch hole right there or very close to it, it'll be fine. Maybe it's just got to be slightly over that, and then if there's any extra room along there, it'll just act as a little extra airflow, so you might need to dial down your airflow to get a really good flame coming out. I doubt you'll have to do much. Nothing too fancy going on here. This is the bottom side. There's no holes in it. There is a belly to it. I'll give you the top to bottom measurement there, how high this thing stands. And the pinhole just kind of on the outside edge, the outside diameter, and the inside diameter just slightly off, not straight up at the briquettes, basically. A couple extra on the end here, but by and large it's just a single hole line. Couple across the top of the burner throughout the radius there. So this is what I just purchased. I ordered a 4-pack of these ones. There's your Amazon item right there. They are 16.5 inches long, so they're about what, 1/8, I think, if I remember correctly, they're about 1/8 of an inch shorter than the stock ones. But that'll fit really nicely on that back shelf, no worries about that. 6.5 inches wide, so this is gonna be perfect. That'll give us 26 inches of coverage instead of 29 is what it will tolerate in that area, which is, I think, ever so slightly more, I believe, than stock coverage. So it'll actually be a little bit better coverage. And I mean, the price on the 4-pack with 1-day shipping here to Houston, Amazon, come on, man. 60 bucks for 4 of these things versus $111 each. I mean, there you go. This is the actual Summerset, the correct ones right here for the 32 inch and the 44. You just have to buy one more if you're on a 44. So yeah, so these are, whew. Now it's gonna be free shipping, but you know, 336 bucks. Sorry, I'm all faded out there. 300, give me a break, man. Now we just need to find one of these guys, 3 of these guys. So the total height of this, you can see the middle tube there is a little bit lower. This is 2 inches from the bottom to the top there, 2 inches. And again, 15.5 inches long, there to there. I'm not sure what I said before, if I did, but 1 5/16 inches wide across that radius and 1/2 of an inch for the hole. Now on bottom side here, there is no holes. However, I do see that there is something that's very uniform here and here that looks like it used to be there. So I think these are probably standoff pegs that probably sit on that back ledge section there is what we're gonna need. I don't know if there's anywhere else that actually has support, so let's try to find something that has 2 at least on that end. Yeah, I kind of see what's going on here. So here's the stock ones, 70 bucks a pop. And right off the tip there, they have that plate. It's actually welded on. So that plate, we're not going to find that, but we'll definitely be able to jury rig this thing, I think, if we can find anything that'll actually fit the bill for style on this thing. Another thing, I don't know if it rotted off, but see that little horizontal bar across there. So I don't see any evidence of that, and in fact I'm gonna go with, yeah, I don't think there was anything on this one to begin with, but it's really hard to tell because of its age. Since it's 1-day shipping, I'm gonna go ahead and just give this a try here. I mean, 60 bucks for 3-pack. We'll give these guys a shot here and see what we come up with. The dimension they're showing is 14.5, but that's only up to this portion of the wing, so it doesn't account here. We're at, again, 15.5 for ours, and I believe we have a little tolerance that way as well. Because again, on the stock ones, you got this 15.5 here, but this easily exceeds that by at least an inch. And I figure my worst case scenario, I've been looking for a reason to grab some stainless steel from the metal supermarket scrap steel area, and I can easily just bend up a little thing and weld that on. Do a little quick little carbon steel, a quick little stainless steel welding, and I'm certain mine is going to look better than that. Look at those welds. That looks like trash. Don't think they're using helium on those welds. going to be too tight between these two already, I can tell. By about a 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch notch needs to be cut out of those. Let's see if it actually touches the next one needs to go though. Hang on a second. Huh. Should go. See, I've got to get this level before it's going to be able to go. Think of at least trying it on this end since it's got one open side. Okay, so this guy's getting in the way a little bit. Shouldn't be bad. Might have to work it in there a little bit. Okay, we're there, I think. So I'm not feeling a connection here with the gas. I think we are going to be pushed a little too far away, maybe. It looked like it was a good depth. Oh, I see. Okay, so right there on center's the tip. It is, whew, I think I'm gonna have to shave off just a hair of this with a grinding disc, which I happen to have for welding. So I'm gonna grind off almost that entire cleat where they pinch these things together. They kind of crimped them. So I'm gonna go almost all the way up to the crimp, but I don't want to touch that crimp. Alternatively, I guess not. I was kind of hoping that I could maybe swap these legs on here, but totally different diameter. Can't remember what this one below me was, but it looks like 1.5 inches, and this one's just a 1 inch. Before cutting it anyway, before doing any kind of shaving on there, let's turn on the burner. So the gas is making it all the way around nice and evenly. It's kind of hard to see on video, but definitely is. And I do like the way that it's sitting in the bottom. It's got a really nice 3-point stance here. Let's see. Where are my feet? Oh, I see, it's gone. So it is being held up actually by this back plate here. The cleats are not touching the ground over there at all. And of course we are super loose here too, so that's nothing that I would want to continue to run like that. But I'll get those cleats ground down, and I think we have a decent connection then. So now let's give these guys a try that we also ordered just yesterday. Let me go off camera instead of making you watch. Oh, there I see it. They just hung up on the bottom. Alright, come on. Show me the money. There to there. Oh, those are gonna play really nicely. Yeah. Something I noticed. Okay, so wherever your briquette holder is going to be, it's going to be right here. So this thing is gonna, this one at least is gonna have to get cut off. I think if this one wasn't here, you could find a spot for this thing to rest really nicely above that flame. It's just that one, I think it's going to be in a bad spot. See? No, looks like it's going to work. I guess it'll configure. So I guess these two parts should work. I'll try to post a final result after I shave down that whatever that was on here. Alright, so as far as making these fit better, I'm just going to use this Harbor Freight Tools old school Chicago electric with a cutoff wheel. These are probably 18 bucks at Harbor Freight Tools. These are just like a couple bucks a piece, so pretty cheap for doing a quick modification. All I want to do is, I got this pinch pleat here about a 1/4 inch in. I don't want to cut that pinch pleat. I don't even really want to get within a 1/16 of an inch from that. So I'm be carefully cutting that edge off on both of these and see if I can get a better fitment, get this thing to sink a little bit further back in to the gas line. Give you an eyeball on what we're trying to accomplish there. So you see where that pinch pleat is? Right there, you can kind of make it out on the left side. So I'm just trying to stay a little bit under that, cutting out about a 1/4 inch, but still trying to preserve and leave that pleat there. And we'll do that again on both the left and the right side. Nothing special needed as far as a special type of cutoff disc or anything, just any steel cutoff disc. Carbon steel is going to work just fine on that. Let's give her a fit, see what happens. Alright, let's see. So I can feel that has locked itself in now into the little round gas orifice there. I could tell because I can go left and right a little bit, but I cannot go up and down like I could before, like if I was out just a little bit further. But right there, she locks herself in. So that's going to work out really, really nicely. And then it looks like these little back feet are not touching at all. So the only thing that this tube is actually being supported on is this back platform here. So I guess that's a potential point where this thing could fail eventually, is touching this thing back there could rot out along that back edge where food and debris collects. So what I think I'm going to do is I'll end up cutting these off because I won't need them at all. They're actually kind of rather in the way. So I'll trim this guy off, this guy off, this guy off, and I'll probably weld them on to the back side here. I'll just extend these a little bit, make them a little bit longer, so that those end up riding there, because I can always do a pinhole weld repair a lot easier than replacing these guys if this rots out on the back side here. So that's my plan. I think that's going to be a good idea. I think it'll work just fine. But that definitely solved my issue with the gas. So we're going to get nice full gas flow through there. Should anyway. Can't see the gas come around to here. Not 100% certain yet, but I think that there's too much air coming in, and I think the flame is only making its way about halfway, so I'm going to try to close this thing off. It is adjustable for that reason, so let's try and close it off halfway and see if the flame comes around. Hopefully it's not too hot to work on after that little short burst. It's not too bad. I'm going to close off half. Let's see what happens there. Yeah, that one's toasty. Alright, let's give this a shot again. There we go. Okay. Definitely flame all the way around now. Alright, cool. So this is going to work out just right. Alright, so I took apart one of these, the tops off of one of these briquette trays, just to see what is conflicting. So this is a normal configuration, of course, with the briquettes in between. But I wanted to see how these are conflicting, if they're all conflicting or what, or if they just need to maybe be cut down a peg and actually serve a function. So looks like this guy wants to come through here, this one almost wants to come through there, but that puts it crooked. So those are in effect touching right here and right here. So I don't know if that one's going to be touching or not. It's a pretty sloped angle, so if I just knock off and cut off maybe it's like a ½ inch on each of these, I think that might help the situation. So I'm just going to cut off a ½ inch here, ½ inch here, and see if it sits down. Alright. See how we fit now. Is that working, Troy? Let's see here. Okay, so it is definitely sitting better now. Looks like it is going to teeter-totter on that front one though now. So that front one needs to get knocked down about between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch on all these. Okay, even better fitment right now. So when I put this in, I thought it was going to have to sit on there, but I was actually able to push that. It's just by cutting down these tails on here just that little bit, it allows this to actually slide down, and then the 2 feet, try to show, and then that's allowing those 2 little feet down there, center stage or center screen there and there, to actually make contact, giving this thing a nice stable 3-point stance. So this is going to be good, man. This is going to be good to go. All right, now the last stage is these guys right here are going to be just a little bit too narrow for this to fit in. It looks like it is about a third of an inch too narrow, so we could take a little off of each side, or to be even, or you could just take it off of one side probably and let it go a little bit crooked. But we're going to take just a little bit off of each side, so I'm going to trim just a little bit of this front edge first, see if I can get in there. And then I do need to cut the back out as well, so I guess I should have just come straight across like this. That way it's at least nice and even. And then I'm hoping it's thin enough that I can just bend it on the front and the back. It looks like that'll work. Might even be able to break it off, but no need if you can't. I'm going to have to cut a relief cut on the bottom for that tube as well, on the back side only. So basically we're just going to cut down about an inch and a half or so on the back side only. I have to cut another one in the middle of that just to make it so it can bend easier. Have a two-section cut. Sorry if that is horribly loud, probably. So two little bendable tabs basically is what I was hoping for. I'll show you what I did here in a second. Great to just refabricate a couple of these actually before they rot out as well, which is inevitable. Alright, so what you end up with is basically a relief notch now, just bent over. So let's see if it fits yet. Probably have to do both sides. Where'd my tube go? Kind of need to very likely cut off the edge of this as well. I didn't think about that. Let's see, so once that one's in place, I'll need, yeah, I'm gonna need to trim off a reasonable portion of each of those as well. It looks like probably about a half of an inch of each of those top sides. just made it so nice, easy, bendable strips underneath there is what I'm going for. I have to cut these top ears off even more by the looks of it. Alright, let's give her a rye fit test. That should be enough. I'll be able to squeeze it in. I believe we're in. I think the tube is riding still on this piece here. Actually, it's riding on both the left and the right side a little. So I need to cut this side down just a little bit further. A little relief there. Definitely will be it though. Alright, we should be ready for full assembly. Yep. Alright. I don't see anything touching on this side here or this side here anymore. These are loose. This thing is in fact sitting down, so we're ready for full grill assembly. So yeah, with those very cheap parts off of Amazon so far, I'll say that I'm very satisfied. The coverage is going to be really good. I don't know what the original coverage was, but you know, I got about not quite 2 inches, 1 inch and 2/3 there, 1.5 inches, 1 2/3 on this side right here. Could spread these out if I wanted to, but why? I'm just wanting these burners to heat up those briquettes, right? Make sure this thing fires. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put this on here for like the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so, and just let all the factory oils cook off of there really nicely. And matter of fact, I'll put those grates back on there while I'm at it as well. Cook those down